At the time of this recording, we are less than 1 week away from the Georgia Senate runoff between Raphael Warnock, the incumbent senator representing the Democrats and representing, America, and between the Republican candidate Hershel Walker, representing stupidity, and Donald Trump, not the American people. Now, I'm not going to lowball this man like so many people have done. Make fun of his mental problems if he has mental problems, which is very apparent considering the circumstances. I'm not going to do that because I can't. I won't. And to be honest with you, it's kind of a low way to attack a person if he does indeed have mental problems. But there's something really wrong with this guy. This man is an habitual liar to the point where he lies about graduating from college, when he lies about how many women he slept with, and most recently he's allegedly lied about paying or convincing or pushing women to have abortions, when evidence has shown that he's done so. Now, to be honest with you, I wouldn't get on this man if it wasn't for the fact that he was a black man. I mean, it bothers me that Americans can look at Herschel Walker and say, this is the man that should be in the Senate. And this is the African American that should be in the American Senate. It bothers me. It vexes me to the core. And it does because not too recently, Herschel Walker decided to have a podcast interview about a question that was asked to him by this podcast person. I forget her name. Anyway, he was asked, what's it going to take? What would you say to a kid who wants to change America from the America that you and I knew as a child? His answer should anger you, frighten you, and question what sane person would actually vote for this man. Take a
Herschel,
look.
how do you feel about people that want to change America from when you and I were kids? I mean, there's, we have, I guess it's 80 to 90 or 70 to 80 million people in America that were born after 1990. So these are kids who grew up, when they were 10 years of age with the real beginning of the computers and the internet at home. So they don't know the world that we know pre-internet. They don't know that the bullying was not really, we may have been bullied when we were kids, in a class or teased and things like that, but not the type of culture that these kids have with the internet today. What do you say to those kids and those young people that are voting?
Well, first of all, they don't know that the grass is not green on the other side, that they think they're somewhere better. And if they know another place is better than the United States of America, my thing is, why don't you go there or tell me, let me know who that is, because I can tell them right now there's not. I think our biggest problem is we've not shown our kids that most of the people today hadn't earned the right to change America. And what I mean by that, there's people that have died or not given their life up. There are people that have given their life up for this flag. They've given their life up for this national anthem. They've given their life up for our freedom and these liberties that we have in this country today, and we're taking it for granted. Well, I don't want that to happen. And I'm saying, and I'm not being tough, I'm saying if you know a place better, you go there, but you lose your citizenship here in the United States of America. And then when you come back, you got to come back legally, like we should be defending the border.
I really don't know what to say to all this. His answer was basically a love it or leave it BS, the same BS that we heard for decades in this country, if not for generations in this country. Love it or leave it, that's seriously your answer. And this idea of having earned the right to change America. Who the hell? All right, let me ask you this. How do you earn that right to change America, Herschel? Because if someone didn't change America, people like you and people like me, because our skin colors are darker than white, we wouldn't have the same rights as other Americans do in this country. If President Lincoln had not freed the slaves through the Emancipation Proclamation, we'd still be slaves today. If Martin Luther King, whose pulpit Reverend Warnock actually inherited after his death, hadn't fought to change America, we wouldn't have the Voting Rights Act or the Civil Rights Act. So what exactly? So when you say we haven't earned the right to change America, if we hadn't changed America, women wouldn't be paid equally in this country, wouldn't have the same rights as men. If someone had changed America, the LGBTQ in this country would be still seen as second-class citizens. Hell, they're already seen as second-class citizens. People of color are still being treated as second-class citizens in this country. If we don't change that, it's going to happen all over again. People like you, Herschel, who are just cheering it on and turning a blind eye to it, you and I would not have the citizenry in this country. Haven't earned the right to change America? Again, I'm going to ask, how do we earn that right to change America? Do we get elected to a certain office? Do we give money to a certain party? So how do we earn that right, Herschel? You know I'm being sarcastic, and frankly, he's talking outside of his ass. But then again, all Trumpers do. And this one bit that I have to talk about, given their life, he talks about there are people that have given their life for the national anthem. No, they haven't. They've given their life for freedom, justice, equal opportunity, everything that's in the Constitution. But in combat, before someone says, I never served in uniform, I never served in the U.S. military. Not me personally. My father has, his brother has, my uncles have. My grandfather on my father's side has. My grandfather on my mother's side has. To this day, I have known hundreds of soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, and the first thing they're thinking about isn't the national anthem. That when they go into combat or they go into a dangerous situation where they could possibly get killed, they're thinking about their friends. They're thinking about their buddies. They're thinking about the man or woman in the next bunk next to them, or they're thinking about their their friend and their buddy and their comrade in the foxhole next to them. The last thing they're thinking about is an old British drunk song, and the last thing they're thinking about is a flag that was probably made in China. How dare you, Walker? How dare you try to assume that you understand that? Unless that's another lie that you want to create. Saying that you understand because you served in the military, like you said you were a cop. How dare you? But then again, you're endorsed by a psychopath who said he couldn't join the Vietnam War because he had bad heel bones or bone spurs or whatever the hell his excuse was. He didn't have the guts to protest against the war. Now I'm going to throw this name right here real quick at you, just real quick. Muhammad Ali, he protested against the Vietnam War because of what was happening in this country. And people like your boy, Donald Trump, didn't want to change. He didn't want to change what happened back then. And when he was drafted into the war, he lied about having bone spurs. Instead of actually standing up and taking a stand against the war, like Muhammad Ali did, directly from his words. Muhammad Ali said that why should I go thousands of miles to another country to fight for a country that won't fight for my religious beliefs? I believe his exact words were, "You want me to fight for you, but you won't fight for me here at home. You won't stand up for me here at home." Now he was a man that took a stand and changed our country through his activism. You, Herschel Walker, have done nothing but be a football player, have a couple of good businesses, look like a beast that's 60 years old, and think that that's the only qualification you've got to be a senator. Walker, you don't have the right to tell anyone in this country that say they earned the right, that say they earned or haven't earned the right to change America. When we see something wrong in this country, we have a duty to change it. But often we are met with resistance of people who don't want to change. We have a gun epidemic in this country, mass shootings going on in this nation. But guess who doesn't want to do anything about it? Your masters in the Republican Party. We have pandemics in this country. People dying en masse. But who doesn't want to do anything about it? The Republican Party. We have situations in this country that we need to change in this country. But who the hell are you to tell us that we can't change them because we haven't, quote unquote, earned the right to change it? Now, again, I say, if we hadn't changed anything, blacks would still be slaves to this very day. If we hadn't changed anything, women still would be used as baby making factories in this country instead of people being treated as Americans, as people. You see, Walker, this is the very exact reason why you shouldn't be within 10 feet of the United States Senate. Now, you may have your problems. Now, everyone, I'm talking to you guys. You may have your problems with Raphael Warnock. I may have my problems with him. But compared to a man like Herschel Walker, who may or may not have some medical problems, some mental problems, compared to a man who screams who lies every single time he opens his mouth about something that we can research. We can take 10 seconds and research online. I mean, after all that, seriously, why would you vote for this clown? If you think you're voting for him because he's Trump's boy, then you're just as stupid as you are when you voted for Trump in 2016 and in 2024. Excuse me, in 2020, and if you plan on voting for him in 2024. My brothers and sisters in the state of Georgia, you know what kind of man Herschel Walker is. And we're not just talking about the accusations of abortions. You know what kind of liar he is. And I'm talking about all the lies he spewed that's been proven. Of him saying he worked with the FBI and worked as a police officer. You've known this ever since you heard him talk. You probably known this all the way back to the 80s when he was a college football star. But it's all come out now because he's been endorsed by one of the biggest liars in this country. It has got to stop. You have the power to stop it. You saw exactly what the Georgia Republicans tried to do to stop early voting because they know that if enough of you vote against Herschel Walker, he doesn't stand a freaking chance. They are terrified, and they're pulling out all the stops to try to get Walker in. I mean, to get Walker inside. But you're smarter than that, my brothers and sisters. You are incredibly more intelligent than Herschel Walker thinks you are, and especially as intelligent as Donald Trump thinks you are. Do not fall for this clown BS. Use your minds. Use the minds God gave you, and use the minds that you have. Don't fall for this BS that Donald Trump is giving you, because that's all it is. He's not standing up for the black man in this country. He's using Walker. The GOP is using Walker, thinking it's going to protect them from accusations of being racist, knowing full well that they are. I used to, and again, before I close out this video, I'm going to say this real quick. I used to admire Hershel Walker. I really did. But all of that ended the second he started opening his mouth. The second he told all of us that Donald Trump wasn't racist, when we know that he is. The second he started giving his speeches, he started lying upon lies, upon lies, upon lies, to the point where his own damn son called him out on those lies. To be honest with you, if you vote for this man, you deserve everything you get. That happens to the state of Georgia. But if you vote against him, you are ensuring the future of our country. And that is not being hyperbole, that's not being conspiracy theorist, that is the truth. Do not vote for Hershel Walker. This man is a coward. He is a liar. He is everything that we see the Republican be now. Do not vote for this man. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.